I answered a series of questions that proved I'm an irrational decision maker. I got fooled by framing effects, and you might too. I'm going to walk you through these 5 questions today so you can understand key decision-making principles. That way you won't fall into the same traps I did. So, let's get into it! These questions and experiments come directly from Daniel Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast and Slow. I loved it. Try to make the following decisions as if they were a reality for you. Decision 1. Choice A, a sure gain of $240, or choice B, 25% chance to gain $1,000 and 75% chance to gain nothing. A large majority of people choose A, the sure gain, over B, the risk of gain. This is because when the potential gains of a decision are substantial, humans tend to be risk averse. They play it safe. Decision B works out economically to a $250 gain on average. If we were rational, we would choose decision B, but emotionally, we lean towards decision A. Decision 2. Option C, sure loss of $750. Option D, 75% chance to lose $1,000 and 25% chance to lose nothing. When the potential losses of a decision are substantial, humans tend to be risk-seeking. They want to gamble. That's why a large majority of people chose choice D, a risk of a loss, over C, the sure loss. This can be a dangerous mindset, and it's what causes many people to gamble away their fortunes at the casino. This is called prospect theory. People tend to prefer the sure thing over the gamble when the outcomes are good. They tend to reject the sure thing and take the gamble when the outcomes are bad. But here's where it gets interesting. You likely made decision 1 and 2 independently, used a narrow frame to evaluate each of the decisions. In the experiment that Daniel Kahneman conducted, 73% of participants chose A and D, while only 3% of the participants chose B and C, the opposite choices. But what if we used a broad frame to answer decisions 1 and 2 together? Let's use answers A and D, the most popular choice combination, versus B and C, the least popular combination. So this is what decision 3 now would look like. Choices A and D compute out to a 25% chance to win $240 and 75% chance to lose $760. Choices B and C compute out to a 25% chance to win $250 and 75% chance to lose $750. This one's obvious. B and C is the clear winner. When using a broad frame, it's easier to make rational decisions. It's why you'd probably take $1 million over a 50% chance at $5 million. But if you knew that decision would occur 10 times in a row, you'd probably take the 10 gambles as your odds of winning increase. This makes sense, but that doesn't mean we should go through life utilizing a narrow frame for each decision we make. We make a lot of decisions over our lifetime, and it'd be a shame to forego those gains from consistently using a narrow frame. But this is the question that blew my mind. This is the framing effect in combination with prospect theory. Pretend that you're the president of the world's tiniest country. That'd be pretty cool. And being a moral president, you care about all of your people. You love them. And you are looking to make the best decisions for your 600 citizens. Unfortunately, a new wave of COVID is hitting your country. Variant BA Delta Gamma 529 is surging. Your director of medicine provides you with 2 programs to counter it. Which program do you utilize for your country? Decision 4. Program A1. 200 people will be saved. Program B1. 1/3 probability that 600 will be saved, and 2/3 probability that no people will be saved. Prospect theory would say that you chose program A. This is what most people chose. They chose the safe bet to save their citizens. Unfortunately, your medical director had to scrap these programs. They won't work. But he was able to provide you with 2 alternative programs to save your country. Which one of these are you going to choose? Decision 5. Program A2. 400 people will die. Program B2. 1/3 probability that nobody will die, and 2/3 probability that 600 people will die. Prospect theory would say that you chose program B2 this time. But let's go back and look at decisions 4 and 5. Program A1 and A2 are identical. Program B1 and B2 are identical. Despite being presented with the same decision, you chose to save 200 people the first time, but risked 400 deaths the second time. Now that you know your choices were inconsistent, how do you decide? If you're like me, you're dumbfounded. The framing of the questions determined my decisions without me consciously knowing it. I'm making inconsistent decisions, and I don't know how to reconcile it. There's no right answer here, but this is the main point. Most of us passively accept decision problems as they are framed, and therefore rarely have an opportunity to discover the extent to which our preferences are frame-bound rather than reality-bound. So here are my final thoughts. This set of questions helped me understand how I make decisions. Less rationally than I thought. I tend to play it safe when the outcomes are good, and I tend to risk it when the outcomes are bad. But by looking at individual decisions with a broad frame, I'm able to make more rational decisions. I should come out ahead in the long term. But it's important to recognize that the framing of the questions can determine my decisions even when the outcomes are the same. It's why I'm more likely to buy a food that's 90% fat-free compared to one that's 10% fat-filled. Understanding these key decision-making principles is important. They're my new perspectives to live healthier, happier, and hopefully, maybe, smarter? I don't know. I hope so. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. And if you're interested in more habits for health excellence, feel free to sign up for my weekly newsletter. I include those along with the most important things that I've read, watched, or listened to within the past week in that. There's a link down in the description if you're interested. Thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.